All right, I have a couple of things to talk about today. One is discipline and how to discipline yourself, and another one is chronicling your fun. So let's start with the bad thing first. Discipline. It's not bad, right? It's just knowing yourself. So back when I really needed to lose some weight and my hips were hurting and joints were aching and things like that, and I was only 35, 36 years old, and I had all these issues with pain, and so I knew that I needed to lose some weight, and I knew sugar was bad, but I didn't have the discipline to not eat chocolate. I still don't have the discipline to not eat chocolate that's in the house, but I do have the discipline to not purchase chocolate at the store. I'm getting into my Jeep because that's where we're going to talk about the other stuff. So whenever you're looking at discipline, you want to think about what can you actually do? What will you actually do, right? You know that you should do X, Y, or Z, but will you? It's gonna be hot in a second. There we go. So what I was not able to do is I was not able to not eat chocolate in the house. But what I was able to do was be mindful and budget and not purchase my own chocolate. So I would let my kids or my husband or whoever else would purchase chocolate for me. Totally fine with that. Then later on, I needed to really curtail my eating habits. And I'm not good at managing my portions. I'm not good at managing what I eat. But I'm really good at managing when I eat. So boom, intermittent fasting. I began fasting at noon, like until noon. So I'd wake up and I would just have water or coffee, and then I would eat at noon. Then I moved it back and moved it back and moved it back. So now for the past 2 years or so, I only eat between 3 p.m. and 9 p.m., sometimes a little later, maybe 10. I kind of eat until I fall asleep, honestly. But I don't eat anything until 3 p.m. And so this is awesome because that means my body has all this time to heal while I'm not eating. So drink lots of water. I do have probably more coffee than I should, but I dropped 50 pounds, not quickly, but I really believe that's a real cue to my health and how I'm feeling now and not having any joint pains and things like that. So that is number one, discipline. Find out what you can actually do. What will you do? Don't be ridiculous. Know yourself, right? Know thyself. All right. Point 2 is chronicling your fun. So you see up above me here, my friend Lisa was going to tell me this was going to be hard to do, but I didn't think about this. This isn't too bad. So these are headliners. We got those and stuck them in the Jeep because of heat, right? We live in Texas. It's really hot up there. And so the heat would emanate from the area, just boiling our heads on all these different convention trips that we've been going on. So my husband pointed out, wow, we could use this for Velcro patches. And I was like, are we 8? Turns out, yes, we are 8. So it's so great. Every time we do something, a lot of times we go to the place just to get the patch. So we end up having this wonderful experience that we wouldn't have had, but because we know it's a national park or it's a state park or it's some sort of historical monument that's gonna have a patch, he bought a big roll of Velcro and he cuts it out and glues it on, and every single thing we've done, every place we've been, if they have a patch, actually it's where Jiminy has been the Jeep, if they have a patch, we buy it. And we get to then decide which one would look cool where. And then of course all the states that's over there, up there is the states that the Jeep has been to. So we've been to more states than this, but these are the states that the Jeep has been to since we bought it in 22, I think. Yeah, I think we bought it in 22. Anyhow, and we bought it for conventions, to travel, be rugged on our dirt road, and then also be big enough for all the stuff. The seats can fold down, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's not interesting. The point is, chronicling your fun is super important because then you post it somewhere and it reminds you of how much fun you had. It gets people talking about it. You get to show off and tell people, these are the things my family has done. You get to, remind yourself and tell others of the memories that you've made. And these are really intentional things. That intention then bleeds through to your regular lifestyle. So no matter whether it's homeschooling, homesteading, building a garden, being outside more, reading more books, whatever it is, as a homeschooler, you are more intentional than the average American parent. It's just true. And so I would really highly recommend, if you haven't started some sort of chronicle, and I'm not talking, you know, photos, because those just stay in your phone, but if you scrapbook, if you have a quilt that you can pin things on or Velcro things to. Back when the kids were little, we had a whole hallway. It was the stairway, and we put everything that we've done, historical places that we went, stickers, things like that. We would put it on a piece of index card, an index card, and then we would tape it with painter's tape to the wall. So we used painter's tape to tape all this stuff to the wall, and then they would get to walk up and down the hall, walk up and down the stairway, and remember places where we've been, and then we would put it in a timeline of when it happened in American history too. There's a million ways for you to chronicle these fun experiences, and I highly recommend finding some way, some place that you go regularly that you can put this in there and display for yourself mostly, right? And then for your children, and then for others. This memory lane that we get to see every time we get in the Jeep is a pleasure. It's a joyful thing that reminds us of who we are as a family. We are adventure seekers. We want to have interesting experiences together because, you know, this time is short. I only have 2 years left, y'all. I can't believe it. I only have 2 years left of having these precious souls around me. Man, eat it up. Chronicle that time, because I can't imagine how much more important these things are going to be to me when my precious souls aren't in the Jeep with me every couple of days. Seriously, Suzanne.